Hey guys, it's Girl Got Game, and welcome back to Changeling for the final time. Yes, if you can believe it, this is the last ending for this delightful game, and I'm very sad, and I procrastinated recording it because I didn't want it to end. But I'm finally getting my butt in gear, and feels appropriate to see Spencer to start off this video, doesn't it? Anyway, so this is our final ending. It's been a while since I've gone through the common route, so I've forgotten which choices I've seen and haven't seen, if I've seen all of them. So I don't know how quick this will be. This option isn't actually required for this ending, but I've never done the get angry, and I want to see it. That one I remember quite well, because I was convinced this led to a bad ending. But apparently it doesn't actually matter in the long scheme of things. But I want to see it anyway, so there. Because I think Spencer deserves to be yelled at for destroying our brownie's mushroom circle. I couldn't help but get angry. It was probably petty of me, but he always did that kind of thing. I was so tired of it. I grabbed his arm, holding it tightly when he tried to pull away. Why do you always have to do things like that?
Who cares? They're just mushrooms. What's your problem?
You are! You don't always have to lash out at things just because I like them. He opened his mouth as if to respond, but didn't quite get it out.
What are you two doing out there? Quit fighting and get back in here and help.
Spencer yanked his arm out of my grasp, narrowing his eyes.
Don't touch me.
His angry hiss echoed in my head as I watched him stalk back inside. I looked down at the crumbled mushrooms lying in broken bits on the grass. They'd grow back. It was actually more entertaining watching Spencer be afraid when she was like, you know, fairies are gonna come for you in the night. And he's like, oh shit. This one also doesn't matter, so let's meet Danny. Why not? Hello, Danny. Okay, now choices matter. So, I know that I did this the first time, which was apparently dumb of me. You know what, let's see this scene, just because it's been a while. Let's see what contributes to this ending, otherwise I may not have the right context. I know being back has probably brought up some bad memories. I know that you're still angry at me. He didn't say anything. But if we could just talk about it.
We can't talk about it!
I winced as he started yelling. Ugh. This was a bad plan.
You try to act so innocent when Mom and Dad are around. You try to go on as if nothing happened because you've forgotten. Some of us can't just forget.
I never said I forgot. I said I can't remember. It might have been silly to make a distinction, but the way he used the word forgotten made it sound too deliberate somehow. I took a deep breath and leveled a serious look at him. If I recall, you told everyone you couldn't remember either. He didn't look at me. I was sitting on the side with his bad eye, so he didn't even bother.
What was I supposed to tell them? No one believed me when I told them the truth.
What truth? All I remember you telling people was... I stopped myself and looked out the window. The unfinished sentence hung on the air between us. I didn't have to finish it for us to both understand how strange it sounded. Of course no one had believed him. He told them I was some kind of monster, that I wasn't even his real sister. Who in their right mind would believe that anyway?
Don't try to act like you don't remember what really happened. I know better.
He said it so quietly I almost missed it. I just kept staring at the passing trees and didn't reply. I had no idea what I was supposed to remember. Turning into a monster? Somehow magically stealing his vision? It had been years since he'd last said something that out of touch with reality. Was I supposed to believe he actually still thought something like that was true? If that was the case, I didn't even know how to respond. I chewed my lip anxiously, regretting talking to him. Well, you're gonna regret it even more later. Okay. This doesn't matter. Sorry, Kara, you don't matter. So I'm just gonna be snarky with you. It's important that I not make friends with these two, so I'm gonna go introduce myself to the teacher. This also doesn't matter, so I'm gonna... that. Do I have a clear favorite? Maybe. This also doesn't matter. I'm gonna wait. Oh, actually, that one did matter. And, oh, I still need to wait. I'm like, I feel like I need to not make friends with as many people as possible, so... this one apparently doesn't matter, so... have fun. I'm not crying. Blurg. Okay. So I need to text Allie or my mom. Let's get Dad over here for some ice cream. Okay. And then this is our final choice. Let's actually go back a little bit. Hold on. Yeah, let's wake up in the forest from our dream, and then we'll catch up to that choice and see what happens. I expected to wake up in my bed in a cold sweat, but when I came to, I was standing up. I wasn't even in my room, much less in my bed. I was in the middle of the woods, surrounded by trees on all sides. Panic rose in my throat. Did I do it again? That strange sensation of crashing back into reality was both eerily familiar and terrifyingly nostalgic. I had felt it before. How long have I been gone this time? My heart was thudding uncomfortably as I looked around and listened for search parties. It was probably stupid to immediately assume I'd been missing for weeks already, but it's not like it would have been unprecedented. There was only silence. I wasn't sure whether I should have been relieved or not, but at the very least I must not have been gone long. But now what? It was dark but cloudless. I was in a bit of a clearing, so the moon lit up my surroundings pretty well. I turned, trying to get my bearings. To my great relief, I saw the warm glow of lights through the trees only a short distance away. Was I just sleepwalking? Or something? That had never happened before, especially not to the point that I ended up outside. I took a deep breath and started making my way back toward the lights. It was freezing, and before I stopped to contemplate any major questions about the current situation, I needed to get back home. I would worry about the sudden sleepwalking problem after that. Something in the distance let out a long howl. A shiver crawled up my spine as I looked anxiously over my shoulder. Coyote, maybe? It was a ways off, but still too close for comfort. I carefully picked my way through a little gully, wincing as I found a blackberry vine I hadn't been looking for. Ow, ow, ow! It managed to wrap itself around both legs in no time. Thorns jabbed at my fingers as I tried to pry it off in the dark. The sudden crackle of underbrush off to one side immediately put my heart in my throat again. What was that? I strained to see into the shadows. It might have just been a deer, but this area did apparently have black bears, not to mention things like cougars, vampires, werewolves, and other unmentionables. Everything went silent again. I was thinking of making a break for the lights. They were maybe 40 yards away and up a little hill. I could make it. Suddenly, a shadow moved. I tried to make out the shape, but it was deep in the trees beyond the moonlight. To my relief, it looked like it was moving away from me. But when it suddenly broke into a run... What? I was almost certain I'd glimpsed something person-shaped. Someone else was out here too? But who? And were they watching me? Alright. Well, now I get to know for sure who or what the shadow was. All this time I've been assuming it was Spencer. And it would be appropriate for Spencer to kill us one last time, wouldn't it? But it could just as easily be Alfred? I don't know why I have like a blank with... It's either Alfred or Albert. I think it's Alfred. Our shadow Cheshire Cat dude. I mean, he's a shadow. It could be. Maybe. Alright, well, let's go. We're gonna find out. I ripped myself from the blackberry vines with the thought of chasing the shadowy figure. It probably wasn't that smart, but I wasn't thinking clearly. I just knew I had been sleepwalking in the woods and someone was spying on me. Spencer was the first person to come to mind. And that shadow had looked pretty short, pretty shrimpy. I picked my way over a tangle of mossy logs and ferns as fast as I could. In the darkest shadows of the trees, I wasn't sure which way to go. Listening carefully, I thought I heard a sound to my left and started in that direction. The branches overhead completely blotted out the moonlight. I shouldn't be doing this. I need to get back home. I stepped in something soft and squishy and let out a quiet yelp. I rapidly sidestepped away from whatever it was. Gross! You're not in the bog already, are you? I hope that's just wet moss. I backed away from it and looked over my shoulder toward the lights, which were already lost in the trees. I should go back. I rubbed my foot against my pants leg to get that squishy, wet feeling off. Whoever else had been out here was definitely long gone. I needed to just go home. I started to head that direction, but when I set my foot down, it hit soft soil that immediately gave away. I lost my footing and slid sideways with a short scream. My hands clawed at the air for purchase as I tumbled helplessly into a black void. I'm falling! I reached for anything to stop my fall. My fingers closed around a branch that snapped off easily under my weight. No! I vaguely remembered Dad warning us about a ravine out behind the house. A scream tore from my lips, but I had little hope of anyone helping me in the middle of the night. As I fell headlong into the emptiness, I heard a strange voice screaming in my head as well. It was the last thing I heard before everything went black. Oh. Oh no, poor Rule's like, you killed my body! You stupid changeling human. Death, death, oh my goodness. This was your last Shakespearean quote and you completely failed. Try using your tongue. You can do this, girl. Death, death, oh amiable, lovely death, come, grin on me, and I will think thou smilest. William Shakespeare. That would have been a really good quote for one of Alfred's, actually, because he often grinned at us in a terrifying manner. All right, well, short and sweet. And I didn't actually get to find out who the shadow was. Leave your theories down below. Could have been anybody. An unexpected trip. All right, well, that is all our endings. I would like to still blame Spencer. Is that bad of me? I still would like to blame Spencer for my fate. Alright, well, in that universe... What happened? I don't think I really ever find out what happens to Nora when she dies in the changeling body. Does Rule just die and she goes back, her soul travels back to Fae? Is the contract then broken because it wasn't fulfilled, so she gets returned back? I have questions about that. I don't think that was ever fully explained. I could be misremembering. But yeah, still questions after all this time, which is good. Always leaves you wondering, wanting more, and speculating after all. And with that, guys, that was our final ending. Thank you very much for joining me for this entire series. It has been a joy to play through. And like I said, I've been procrastinating recording this because I didn't want it to end. But all good things must come to an end, and so it shall be with this game as well. Although there's one last thing I'm going to do, which of course is going to be my final thoughts video, where I talk a bit about how I enjoyed this game, as well as my lists for the boys, which is the very, very hard thing that I needed to do. Spent probably way too long thinking about it and weighing everything. But yeah, I think I finally got those lists nailed down, so I'm excited for you guys to hear how they all ranked up for me, and I'm also excited to hear how they all ranked up for you, either today in this video or tomorrow when the final thoughts video comes out. Either way, I'm excited to hear from you guys. Thank you all for joining me once again, and until next time, I will see you later.